Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Whoever's out there, we're really glad to know that you're there, and we'll know who's there soon. Anyway, hope your week's going well. I hope everybody enjoyed the eclipse.
Yeah.
I think that it was a beautiful sight just from wherever you saw it.
Yeah, and I love the global energy of everyone being excited about it. And,
At the same time.
Yeah, and celebrating. I saw a post that said, celebrating God's work,
Absolutely.
right? So that was cool.
Absolutely. And so everybody's like now coming down off of that. And yes, everybody's emotions are on a roller coaster. Yes, and it has to do with the full moon, and it has to do with the eclipse, and it has to do with all of these energies actually.
Mercury retrograde.
Mercury retrograde. So communication, cell phones, computers, fax machines, all those kind of things kind of go awry. Any form of communication, mail, stamps falling off of letters, communication between people. You want to like really think before you speak sometimes. Sometimes. You don't have to always think before you speak. I'm a real let it flow kind of girl these days.
I've been more mindful. I've actually stopped myself before I've
Well, it
spoken.
doesn't mean you're not mindful because you're just saying what's on your mind, but
Yeah.
you'll be more mindful of what's coming.
Yeah, I've been
as it comes.
noticing. I've been pausing more, just in general, and thinking about what I'm saying before I say it.
Sounds good to
I
me.
do, like even just in general.
Yeah. So today we're talking about using the blockages that come up, using blockages that might be in your life right now, and turning them around to use them as bricks for building your, future, where you're walking, your path, so to speak. And it's really taking you on the path to yourself and really finding your passion, your work, your self-purpose. And I think that they all kind of align when you do find them. And clearly the, path that we've been on and the journey that Kim and I have been focused on taking together and sharing with you is all about taking things and turning them around so that they work for you.
Yeah.
And personally, I feel like I really went through a lot of tests like we all do, and everything's relative.
Mm-hmm.
But there were a lot of personal choices that I had during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose to look at all these blockages and the blockages that people maybe were trying to put up in their trying to. And I saw that as outside of me, not in me. And the strength that I had in staying true to where I was going and not what was happening around me really helped me to like cement another brick into this new foundation that I was building for myself in trust and in belief that the universe really, really, really does take care of us.
Yeah.
And it's really about our intention. And, everybody's worried about karma and like, when bad things happen to us, the first thing we do is go, oh my God, what did I do to deserve this?
Yeah.
And do that victim thing. But you know what? It wasn't what you did. It wasn't the act. It was the intention behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Kim was sitting here hysterical and I had a smacker to smack her out of it, that would be I was doing it to make her come back to
Right.
Neil. But if you hit somebody or intentionally hit somebody or smack somebody because you want to hurt them, that's the intention I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So,
I was talking to somebody not that long ago that she was saying about all these kind of bad things that happened in her life, and every time something happened she would say, what did I do wrong? And I was like, oh, it made me cringe to hear her
right.
say it that way. And I was like, I think you might have it a little backwards. Like, you're a good person, I don't really see that that's it, but I do think it's a block.
Yeah, and
And
well,
a learned
so
pattern.
okay, so listen, are you using that with the
Yeah.
story just Kim just told you? The more you're working on this, it seems like the more people appear with their issues and their problems, which are
Yeah.
all legitimate,
Yes.
but it almost makes you mirror
It does.
and reflect and see
Yep.
how much stronger we all need to be. Like we're telling this person, well, you gotta, like we're listening to what we preach, so to speak. And in blocking like the things that happen to us, I think that when we use our focus to stay on track and where we're going and to dilute all of our stuff that would be blockages, it's like another brick and then the mortar and another brick and then the mortar. Every lesson is another brick. And every time you get it, that's more mortar. So the brick is the lesson and the mortar is really solidifying it in your soul to know that you've taken another step towards really understanding where you're going and why things happen to us. They happen to us so that we can start
Learn.
thinking in a
Learn.
new way to get around it. And it's not so much a physical thing, it's more of a thinking your way around things. And it was my focus to really stay positive with my family and my work here. And the more I did that, the more like the store got busier, more people were coming to really learn for the first time, a lot of new people. Obviously, everybody that we know and love that keeps coming back. But I think that it's this whole energy that's happening where we're all really trying to find our true purpose. And the more you use every little stumbling block to just turn it around and put it on that wall and build that, foundation, or not the wall, I'm sorry, this pathway, the brick path, I'm sorry. Okay, well anyway, the more we start to do this and the more we start to look at every single thing that we allowed in our mind to stop us, that we're really building that path to, your passion and your work and your path really have to be aligned. And when that happens, that's when this building of the, turning the blocks into bricks really comes into play. It becomes a realization that you have this ability to do this. And it seems like the harder the lessons come, or the more you think people are against you and people are conspiring, people don't have the energy to do all that conspiring. And if they do, well, okay.
Just get away from them.
Yeah, seriously, like, that shouldn't even be like an issue. But, yeah, so the more they come at you or the more you think that, that's what should be fueling your fire of strength to, build that new foundation in the way that you look at things. When you change the way you look at things in your life just start to change. You start to put a whole new vibration out there of what you really want to create and have in your life. And the strength that you start to feel. And I also believe in doing this, I think it's had a lot to do with like the whole idea of divine guidance. I think that the clearer you make your intentions for your path, I think the more the lessons come at you, and yeah, maybe sometimes they do get a little harder, and they really do test your strength and your emotion and your capacity to even think clearly. But my God, when you get past that hump, it's
It
like
opens up.
the whole universe opens up for you, and another chance to go, my God, it really does support you in every way. And life
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah. And I find that more of the blocks are your own resistance, which could also be all those patterns from before, the doubts, the anything, if there's something in your way that you've been trying to accomplish, is it like, it makes me stop now. It actually makes me stop and look at it and be like, what just brought that on? And a lot of times it's like a pattern or a block or a resistance in your own energy or your thought process or belief system that's keeping you from getting there. And in that moment, you can just switch. You can change the direction. That
And that's it. Like, you open up for that little bit of time period that whatever the situation is going to be is happening, and use that time period in your life to realize that you're powerless over other people's situations.
Yeah, it's not the other people. You really, it mirrors from you, and that's
Right.
When you
Right.
find yourself in those moments that you don't want to be in, you really need to check inside and figure out where that's coming from, because it's coming from you. It's not
Right.
coming from them.
Right. And I really did find myself, the more you do this, like every day I was saying to myself, every time some little obstacle popped up, and there were many of them, but I would be like this, you know what? I can choose to make this block where I'm going, or I can use it, gain strength from going around it, or just not responding to it, and choose to build. Choose to build. I feel like every single thing that happens to us in our life that brings us pain, it is true. No pain, no gain. And the painful incidences that have happened in our life, we can either allow them to block us from going forward and leading a happy life, or we can use them to go, it was a lesson, I feel so much stronger now, so this happened. But when you really go, what did I learn from this?
I do that all the
honest
time.
to God, like, think about it like the brick and mortar. The brick is the idea, and the mortar is what you learn from it. And that's what makes it solid in your soul. It's like it speaks to your soul. When you dig that deep to really figure out your reactions and responses to things, when they're not that positive and you choose to stay in that blocking mode, things block you, people block you, somebody said this, somebody did that, blah, 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 blah. You're wasting all that energy and all that thinking like that when you could be going, that's not what I want to focus my energy on. I want to focus my attention on the things that I want and only think of like those things. Hi, Linda. Hi, Dominique. Hi, Dommy. Oh, I lost my concentration. No, only kidding. So anyway, you have to really understand that you're not in control of other people's deliberate actions, but you can make a deliberate choice to use every single thing in your life, not to blame another person, but to ask, why did I, choose this lesson? Because we've already been through that. We know we choose our lesson. We choose our kids, our partners, our parents, our siblings, our life stories. And in understanding this, then we really understand that there had to be a solution to what we chose to do or be or have as life lessons in this lifetime. Because you can imagine and dream anything you want up. But if there's a love you're looking for, or a home you're looking for, or a specific situation that you're looking for, chances are it's happened to you before, and it's coming back to, or you're willing it back because it's a time in your life when you want that good in your life again, or you want that dream to happen. And so you take whatever situation that was blocking and you turn it around and you put it towards this new thought pattern of, what is this bringing back into my life? Like, that there's joy out there. People have it. And if somebody else has it, then you can too. There's plenty of people that pick up their lives from whatever happened to them, like the worst of devastation, and rebuild.
Yeah.
And some of us don't even have that. And we think we can't, build our lives because we have nothing. And when you really look around and you start to be grateful, you find out all you really do have. And in that gratitude, it helps you to really make some choices and find your strength. Find your strength to really, build on what you want and not allow for things that block you to happen anymore. Like, old thoughts block us, old patterns block us. Sometimes you're in a store and a scent reminds you of something, and you let that block you. where you hear a name, somebody's yelling at their kid, and you hear the name, and it reminds you of somebody you didn't like, and then you think about the situation, and then that blocks you. Anybody lets anything block them if they want to be a victim of their stuff.
You know, it's funny. I had a circumstance where I was like torn between two thought processes, let's say, choices, and I had a dream in the middle of the night where I was like this. I do not want that. That was in my dream. I was like, whoo, and it was me. I knew it was me. I was like, okay, not that choice.
Right.
You know, like, so if you can get in tune with it enough, and if you're not listening during the waking hours, that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, and when you really focus on going forward with like a no thoughts of the past that you don't want to be reminded of, or the things that, you know, block your psyche, then you really just have to be so focused on here that there's no room for this anymore. If you could put all the stuff that blocks you, all the cinder blocks, in a bag, could you really drag that around with you all day over your shoulder? If you had even if you had 3 thoughts or 3 things that keep you from only seeing where you want to go forward, and think about all that weight.
I think you have to recognize that, though. I mean, feels like that. To me, there was a time period that there was an awakening, and I was like, oh, I'm awakened, so I know all this stuff. That's great. I'm awakened. I've had numerous awakenings, and all those times that it was a block, and then like you said, then all of a sudden it all floods in, okay. But the more that you can recognize, rather than be victimized,
yes,
if you can start recognizing it and really take that moment to step back, which is pretty much what we've been talking about week after week, to be able to see it, step back from it, and then change direction, huge.
Sure.
It's huge. It's just to be able to see it first, because we give it excuses. We give it
I think everybody
victims.
needs to believe in miracles. I think people
yeah.
need to stop poo-pooing miracles, because I think when you put your mind to something and that passion just emanates and oozes out of every cell, every pore of your body, there's just nothing that can stop you from having a really happy, healthy, enjoyable life.
And that's why I was excited about the eclipse. I didn't even really see it. Didn't get dark. It was cloudy where I was. But the fact that I knew that the energy was happening and that something awesome is going to come from it, that's what I believe now, you know. And I'll say to people, you know, in religious environments, my God wants me to be happy. That's pretty much what I know.
He wants you to ask for miracles.
Ask for miracles.
Yeah, miracles happen. They really, they really do happen.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me nobody's ever heard of a miracle, or you've never said, oh my God, that's like a miracle.
Yeah.
No, it's not like a miracle. It is a miracle.
Yeah.
And the more you believe, the more you're going to see. And I know we repeat this all the time, but it's just so real and so and you just got to stay with it. You got to keep yourself strong to these thoughts, and you have to remember, when you're inspired, where'd the inspiration come from? It's in your cellular memory, and your cellular memory is buried so deeply from all the garbage that we've allowed to stay with us and not let go of until the last 20 years, when we started learning let go, let go, let go. But now everybody's on the let go train. But it's really about not holding on to things in the first place. And, the next time you have a thought or a feeling that you can't do, don't want to do, or because of some old reason, then I think it's really important that you use these points that we gave you to turn it around to something positive and go, how can I use this to either help other people or in some way enhance somebody else's life by, and that's a path.
Yeah.
That's a path.
And ask for help if you can't find your way there. And whether it's in prayer, whatever it is, help me, will help you get to that next spot.
You know what?
Believe that.
Look at it like your self-work is happening because in some way you're going to turn out to serve in some way where you help someone else.
Yeah.
And behind that, who wouldn't want to go with the fact that every time you learn a lesson and you come through something, it's so that you can help somebody else with their same thing and help them to build on their future and get there a little quicker.
Yeah, and they'll
So
come to
isn't
you.
that a nice thought to be able to
Yep.
inspire somebody else
Yep.
to build their path and not look at their stuff
Yes.
like blockages,
Mhm.
and to really help, another fellow human being,
Yep.
because they're just being
Mhm.
human being, and you want to get to just be.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for everybody that joined us today, and we hope everybody's having a wonderful summer. And
Today's the last day of the new moon energy, so plant those seeds of things that you're looking to grow in your life.
there you go. That's right.
And have a great week.
And have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Bye.
And we love you. That's why we share with you. And thank you, everybody that was here today.